Okay, David, so Hillary Clinton has said she's like Barack Obama. She basically wants to run as a third term of Barack Obama on many issues. So if she does that, and then you have that juxtaposition of Barack Obama's being weak on terror, he can't even say Islamic terrorism, and Donald Trump coming out right out of the box saying, this was a terror attack, ISIS, we're coming after you, it's got to stop. I think that really does define the difference between the two candidates, Hillary and Donald.
Look, Hillary Clinton has 4 years of experience as Secretary of State. Donald Trump is woefully unprepared to be Commander-in-Chief. I say that not just because he hasn't studied foreign policy issues, he doesn't care about foreign issues, and he hasn't put people around him who know foreign policy issues, though all of those things are true. I say that because of the shockingly ignorant things he has said about foreign policy. Yesterday is a prime example. He said that this tragedy, the Egypt air tragedy, was terrorism, but there are no facts yet to suggest it was terrorism.
I'm not sure that it matters whether it's terror or not, David.
You can't effectively combat it.
I don't know if it matters whether it ends up being terror or not. What matters, or what's resonating among the Americans, we showed the poll 52% to 40%. They believe Donald Trump would be tougher on terror. What's resonating is that he is perceived to be tough on terror, Islamic terrorism. Let me ask you something.
But Eric, he called it terrorism before anyone has any facts that suggest it is.
David, on the left, you talk about Hillary's experience. Yes, she's far more experienced than Donald Trump. I would argue that experience doesn't equal qualifications. Just because she has experience doesn't mean she's qualified to lead a fight against terror that, frankly, hasn't been fought for 8 years.
Well, look, you could criticize Hillary Clinton in 2008 for maybe not having foreign policy experience and not knowing the issues. But after 4 years as Secretary of State, meeting with hundreds of foreign leaders, conducting many trips abroad, and overseeing our foreign policy during a time of mostly peace and prosperity and effective foreign policy, and reaching out to countries that used to be enemies and making them friends, she has a strong record on foreign policy.
Let's talk about her record a little bit, Adam. Let's talk about her record. There are 4 dead Americans, the ambassador and 3 of his people in Benghazi. There's a deal on the table that most Americans think was a terrible deal with Iran. What is her foreign policy legacy, Adam?
Eric, I mean, just make the list. Iran, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, ISIS, the aggressiveness of the Russians, Benghazi. It goes on and on. She is defending a record of foreign policy that I think has led this country into peril and a more of a defenseless position. Opposed to what Donald Trump is. Instead of defending it, he's demanding what must be done. I think we're looking for a strong, determined, clear-headed leadership at the top, and I think the world is looking for America to stand up and be there again. I think we haven't had that for the last 8 years. I would love to have a debate on Hillary Clinton's foreign policy credentials. I think she has a lot of explaining to do, as they say. But the biggest thing in this election, we don't want to hear the gilded responses and the poll-tested dribble. Give it to us straight. Let us know how you feel. And I think that's where Donald Trump is scoring big.
You know, David, in a strange metaphor, strange situation today, almost exactly the same time going on, Donald Trump was accepting the endorsement of the NRA while there was a lunatic, could have been a terrorist, going at the White House with a gun. He gets shot. Listen, I got to tell you, which one? And you hear Donald Trump taking that. Meanwhile, this guy, where's President Obama during this whole time? He's golfing.
Eric, accepting an endorsement from the NRA has nothing to do with foreign policy. There is no comparison between these two candidates. Donald Trump is like the Wizard of Oz, makes threatening statements, but there's a little insecure man behind the curtain. He can't talk about foreign policy in depth in any way. That's sad for him, but it's really insulting to our voters.
Now, let me ask you something, David. Who the Iranians, okay? They probably don't like us. We make a deal with them because they want their money back. They want their $100 billion. They don't like us. Who do you think the Iranians are more fearful of, a President Trump or President Clinton? Hillary.
I don't think the Iranians fear Donald Trump at all. Donald Trump is full of bluster. There's nothing to back him.
Do you think they fear Hillary?
You can disagree with the agreement with Iran, and there are strong reasons to disagree with it. But so far, it has been effective, and Iran has complied with the agreement, and Iran has denuclearized.
Have they?
And we need to watch what happens.
Let me push back a little bit, Adam. We just heard this week that Rhodes, your advisor to President Obama, said, guess what? All that stuff we told you about that Iran deal, we were just saying that. We were just trying to sell you. You don't even know what's in the deal.
I can't believe, Eric, I'm hearing this from David. I mean, here's a country, Iran, that says death to America, and we give them cash in return. This isn't a policy of strength. This is a policy of capitulation and retreat. And I think Americans, by and large, have had it. They want a leader to stand up and make America feel something again. And the NRA, by the way, Donald Trump got this endorsement today, almost 6 months after the election. It took Mitt Romney almost all the way to the election to get this blessing. There's something going on. He is commanding the conversation, and I think he's going to do very well moving forward.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Adam and David, thank you.